Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. The fifth day of the 11th special session of the 21st Congress will now come to order. May we all bow our heads for a moment of silent prayer. I notice, Chairman Roosevelt, that now you're being outdone by Vice Chairman Palik, and who can pray the longest. Okay. Chief Clerk, roll call.
Senator Aritas,
Yes.
Senator Christian, Senator Figueroa,
Yes.
Senator Golan, Floor Leader Harper,
Amen.
Senator Gunman, Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Ned, Senator Palag,
Yes.
Senator Berman, Senator Romalo,
Amen.
Senator Uruzamal,
Okay.
Senator Wali,
Yes.
Speaker Simona.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, 13 members are present.
We do have a quorum to transact business today. Next item, reading of the journal, Floor Leader Harbert.
Thank you again, Mr. Speaker, and good morning to you, our honorable members, staff, and all those who are observing our session this morning. Again, I move to dispense with the reading of the journal. Sir.
It has been moved and seconded that Congress dispense with the reading of its journal. Those in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. We now dispense with the reading of the journal. Just for your info, Chief Clerk, I'm almost done with my review of the journals of the last special session. Okay. Next item.
Point of privilege, Mr. Speaker.
State your point. What's that, Floor Leader Harbert?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in privilege to introduce certain individuals who are sitting with myself and Chairman Willie this morning. And I'm happy to introduce our own Consul General, Madam Teresa Felipe, and our one of our staff, Clayton Eleazar, and of course our beloved Sergeant at Arms, Tuareg Mickey. Please give them a round of applause.
Thank you very
Mr.
much.
Speaker, point of privilege.
Of course, state your point, Vice Chairman Christian.
Floor Leader Harbor meant former Sergeant at Arms. No?
Same. I don't know.
He's on per diem, so that means he's still officially. Make sure, Chief Clerk, that our Sergeant at Arms is on, per diem this session and next session. Okay. All right. Next item, Chief Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The next item is item 5, presidential communications. We are in receipt of one, and it's numbered 21-554.
Okay, assign that, Chief Clerk. Next item.
Item
Mr.
6.
Speaker, point of information.
Yes, state your point, Vice Chairman Christian.
I asked this question because I do not agree with the intent of the presidential communication. And when you ask the chief clerk to assign it, what is there to prevent the executive branch from proceeding to utilize the funds
Well, nothing. It can use the fund only for the purpose that's for which it's appropriated at this time. It cannot use it for any other purpose than the sleeping of the patio boats at this time. Yeah, but so they're asking to change that use. They
Thank you,
cannot
Speaker.
reprogram it.
I needed to hear that on the record,
Sure.
so that we
I
don't
think
make
we all.
mistakes, oh, sorry, we thought that it was okay by you to do that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, that's okay. Thank you, Vice Chairman Christian, for pointing that out. I'm sure all of us understand the nature of these appropriations we do. Okay, so next item, Chipper.
Item 6, some Supreme Court communications, none at the moment, Mr. Speaker.
Next item.
Item 7, member communications, none also, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, next item.
Item 8, departmental communications, we have one and it's numbered 11-104.
Okay, sign that, Chipper. Chairman Fikir, take note. It's an update on our FSM Trust Fund. Next item.
Item 9, agency or governmental authority communications, none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, next item.
Item 10, state communications, we have one and it's numbered 11-57.
Sign that, Chief Perk. Next item.
Item 11, state Supreme Court communications, none, Mr. Speaker.
Continue.
Item 12, municipal or town communications, none. Item 13, foreign government communications, none also, Mr. Speaker. And item 14, miscellaneous communications, none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, we're on our order of the day. Item 15, standing committee reports. Do we have any, Chief Perk?
There are no reports at the moment, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, item 16, special committee reports. Do we have any, Chief Perk?
None also, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, next item.
Item 17, for assignment of measures and communications, kindly refer to referral sheet number 21-149.
Okay, Chairman, members, review that for your planning purposes. Next item.
Item 18, unfinished business, none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, we're now on item 19. That's the bill calendar. First bill, Chief Perk.
Under the bill calendar now is the first bill, which is on CB number 21-288 CD1 for second and final reading. This is attached to Standing Committee Report number 21-86. CB number 21-288 CD1 is a bill for an act to further amend Title 30 of the Code of the Federated States of Micronesia, annotated, as amended by amending sections 122, 125, and 126 therein to designate the management and operation of the FSM Development Bank, to permit directors to borrow from the bank, to provide payment of honoraria to all directors, and for other purposes.
Okay, Chairman Net.
Thank you, Speaker. I move for the passage of the bill on second and final reading.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading bill number 21-288. Discussion. Any discussion?
Speaker,
Who's that? Vice Chairman Palik.
yes, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Good morning to you and distinguished members. Mr. Speaker, I have floor amendment to offer on the state bill. I believe the amendment has been linked to boardable, and due to its length, I move that we dispense with the reading and move for the adoption of the state floor amendment. So move.
Any second?
Yeah.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that the offer for amendment to CP 21-288 offered by Vice Chairman Palik be adopted. Because of its length, we will dispense with its reading. Okay, discussion. No, let's have Florida Harbor, your motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to suspend an urban rule that may impede our action of the said bill or amendment raised by Honorable Balik, especially the rule that prohibits substantive amendment on second and final reading.
Any second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded that the relevant rules, specifically the rules prohibiting substantive amendments on second and final reading, be suspended. Discussion on, let's vote. Those in favor of that motion say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carried. The relevant rules are now suspended. So, discussion on the
Speaker, may I
article for amendment.
request for short recess?
Okay, short recess, subject to call of the chair.
Thank you,
to,
Mr.
motion?
Speaker. Pursuant to discussion during recess, Mr. Speaker, I move to defer my proposed floor amendment to CP number 21-288. So
Okay.
moved.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that the offer for amendment be deferred. Those in favor of that motion say aye.
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 Those nay. Motion carried. The said for amendment, proposed for amendment is deferred, and along with it, the bill itself, 21-288. So, next bill, Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, the next bill under the bill calendar now is CB number 21-373 for second and final reading. CB number 21-373 is a bill for an act to further amend public law number 10-72 as amended by public laws numbers 10-103, 16-26, and 21-153 by amending section 6 thereof in order to have the chief executive officer of Caroline Islands Air as the ex officio board member instead of the chief financial officer and for other purposes.
Okay, Vice Chairman Christian.
So moved, Mr. Speaker.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CP number 21-373. Discussion. Any discussion? If none,
Mr. Speaker, point of information, Speaker.
yes, state your point, Vice Chairman Palik.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does CIA as a chief finance officer on board now?
I think the information we got yesterday is that there is no CFO at this time, personally.
Yes, thank you, Speaker. I just find it difficult to comprehend an organization that is involved with money that we don't have a CFO, Chief Finance Officer, to handle the financial matters of this organization. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. Yes, the position is still there, but there is no individual filling it at the present time. That's my understanding. Okay, so any further discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. We will vote by roll call of the delegations. Chief Clerk.
For the state of Chuk, Chairman Aritas.
Yes.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Perman. State of Koshai, Chairman Wali.
Yes.
State of Yap, Chairman Urusamal. Mr. Speaker, all four states voted for the said bill.
CP number 21-373 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
The next bill under the bill calendar is CP number 21-396 CD1 for second and final reading. CP number 21-396 CD1 is a bill for an act to further amend public law number 21-180 as amended by public laws numbers 21-191, 21-234, and 21-240 by amending sections 3 and 6 thereof to change the use and allotment of funds previously appropriated therein for the purpose of funding public projects and social programs for the people of Yap and Pohnpei states and for other purposes.
Chairman Figueroa.
Thank you, Speaker. I move for the passage of the said bill on second and final reading.
Second.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded that Congress pass CP number 21-396 CD1 on second and final reading. Discussion. Any discussion?
Speaker.
None. Oh, okay. Chairman Ursula.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I have an oral amendments that I wish to make on the bill as amended.
Proceed.
Thank you very much again, Mr. Speaker. In the title, line 2, where you see sections 3, delete the figure 3 and insert the figure 2 in lieu thereof. Page 1, line 9, after the letter A, delete the paragraph or sentence, YAP Congressional Delegation Citizens Outreach and Advocacy Program, and insert in lieu thereof vehicle for the Council of Pilum, 40,000. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Second.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the offered oral amendments by Chairman Ursmo to CP 21-396 CD1 be adopted. The relevant rules are still suspended at this point. So discussion on the offered oral amendments. So what happened?
Mr.
Chairman
Speaker,
Ursmo, what happened that you're changing your outreach? Did they
They
press you?
forced him.
well, they indicated to our office as an urgent need of the Chamber of Chiefs from the main island needs a vehicle to take them to meetings and around. And we see the need. We're very good in helping our two councils. So and we have these 40,000. Since we stuck, we cannot go anywhere other than stay here. We decided to let them use the 40,000 to purchase a vehicle for their use.
Yes, thank you.
Mr.
I think
Speaker.
more of the take them around. I think that's more of the purpose than the take them to
Mr.
meetings.
Speaker,
Yes, Vice Chairman Christian.
what's the other consul's name? Tamul? Or
Tamul.
Tamil? Or Tamil? Consul of, oh, don't they need a vehicle too?
We gave them one already.
Okay. So for discussion on the for oral amendment.
What they
Just
need-
for the record,
Yeah, for the record, Speaker.
floor leader first, then
Okay, thank you.
Chairman Fakir. Floor leader.
Yeah, Speaker, it's none of my business to ask anything about the project, but out of curiosity, I just want to ask what kind of vehicle are they buying? How come it's 40,000 while I know used cars are only 5, 6, 7, and 8?
Mr. Speaker, thank you,
Chairman Ursula.
Leader, for raising that question. It's a very valid one. When we were discussing how much and what kind of vehicles they should get, we thought we give them the whole amount, which is in the appropriations, and let them decide if they want a bus, so be it. If they want a dump truck, no, it's not good for the council to use a dump truck, but it's really up to the council to decide. And we give them the adequate amount so they can use it for that, including freight for the vehicle to come in. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Chairman Fakir, you have the floor now.
No, I just want to respond to Senator Christian's question. He asked about the vehicle for the Council of Tamil, and I just want to remind him that he promised them a ship, but hasn't delivered yet. What they need is a ship. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you
Yes,
for
because
reminding Vice
We
Chairman.
did promise
of
them the
PNP.
ship, but Rusmal said no. That new ship from China will go to Chuk. That's what Senator Rusmal said.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion on the offered oral amendment? If none,
Yes, sir.
there's no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of the offered oral amendment to CP 21-396 CD1 offered by Chairman Ursula, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carried. The offered oral amendments are adopted. We now have CT2. Any further discussion on CT2? Discussion. If none, there's no objection. Debate is closed. We will vote by roll call of delegations. Chief Clerk.
For the state of Chuk, Chairman Aritas.
Yes.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Furman. State of Koshai, Chairman Wali.
Yes.
State of Yap, Chairman Urusumal. Chairman Urusumal.
Thank you, Chief Clerk. I yield the floor to Chairman Fagir to cast YAP state votes.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, all 4 states voted for the said bill.
CP number 21-396 CD2 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
The next bill under the bill calendar now is CB number 21-397 for second and final reading. CB number 21-397 is a bill for an act to further amend public law number 19-124 as amended by public laws numbers 19-133, 19-140, 19-150, 20-05, 20-15, 20-33, 20-48, 20-63, 20-71, 20-156, 20-175, 21-22, 21-52, 21-146, 21-195, 21-213, and 21-244 by amending section 4 thereof to change the use of certain funds previously appropriated therein to fund priority infrastructure projects and other programs in the state of Pohnpei and for other purposes.
Chairman Fagir.
Move for the passage of the bill on second and final reading.
So again.
Again.
Been moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CP number 21-397. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, who's that? Yes, Vice Chairman Christian, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to offer one proposed amendment in oral form, and I will share with the Chief Clerk.
Proceed.
Yes, on page 2, line 4 and 5, delete all and insert in lieu thereof, beginning on line 4. Paramkap water system improvement, 25,000. And in parentheses, water tanks, gutters, and supplies. Line 5, after that, Paramkap paved road site improvement, 25,000, coral culvert equipment and labor. So moved, Mr. Speaker.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the offered oral amendment by Senator Christian to CP number 21-397 be adopted because of it is an oral amendment and the relevant rules are still suspended up to this point. Short recess up to the call of the chair. Is back in session. The offered oral amendment, the motion was seconded. The relevant rules are still suspended. So discussion on the offered oral amendments. Any discussion? If none,
Mr. Speaker.
oh yes, go ahead, Vice Chairman Christian.
Just an explanation. Pohnpei has been raining so hard that our roads have deteriorated to the point that we need patching immediately. And also, water is an issue in many of our villages here, even in the pandemic time, with lots of homes without available water. And so the changes were made to address these issues as much as that money can allow. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Vice Chairman Christian. Yes, that's really a good use of your funds. Okay, any further discussion on the offered oral amendments? If none, there's no objection. So let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of the offered oral amendments by Vice Chairman Christian to CP 21-397, say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. The offered oral amendments are adopted. We now have CD1. So any further discussion on CD1? Discussion, if none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. We will now vote by roll call of delegations. Chief Clerk?
For the state of Chuk, Chairman Aridas.
Yes.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Perman. State of Kasai, Chairman Wali.
Yes.
State of Yap, Chairman Urusamal.
Ooh.
Mr. Speaker, all 4 states voted for the said bill.
For that reason, CP number 21-397, CD1 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Short recess. ID, change the spell. Next bill, Chief Clerk.
The next bill under the bill calendar now is CB number 21-398 for second and final reading. CB number 21-398 is a bill for an act to further amend public law number 20-93 as amended by public laws numbers 20-98, 20-120, 20-133, 21-98, 21-162, 21-207, and 21-243 by amending section 2 thereof to change the allotee of funds previously appropriated therein to fund priority infrastructure projects and other public projects and social programs in the state of Kasai and for other purposes.
Okay, Chairman Figueroa.
Move for the passage of the bill on second and final reading.
Again,
It's been moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CP number 21-398. Discussion.
Speaker,
Yes, Vice Chairman Christian.
Mr. Speaker, it's not on the amendment proposed, but I went back over the listed bills from which this bill generated from. And all the way back, I only found reference to Koshai. And I was wondering where's the genesis of this money? 20-93 is the last one I checked, and it's just about Koshai. I'm saying this not because of just this bill, but a lot of bills that I went back over only had one state listed in them. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Vice Chairman Christian. If I remember correctly, this was one of those state infrastructure priority projects that we kind of split up. So I think Koshai was separated out. They had their own bill, just like Chuk, and I think Pohnpei and Yap as well. So there was a time I think that happened, or Koshai was the one that did that, separated out first. Then we kind of joined later.
Yeah, I think that's what happened, Speaker.
Yes, if I remember. So, any further discussion on the bill itself?
Question.
Questions been called for? There's no objection. Discussion is closed. We will vote by roll call of delegations. Chief Clerk?
For the state of Chuk, Chairman Aridas.
Yes.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Perman. State of Kasai, Chairman Wali.
Yes.
State of Yap, Chairman Urusamal.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, all 4 states voted for the said bill.
For that reason, CP number 21-398 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
The next bill under the bill calendar now is CB number 21-399 for second and final reading. CP number 21-399 is a bill for NAC to appropriate the sum of $100,000 from the general fund of the Federated States of Micronesia for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2021, for the purpose of funding relief efforts in Palau due to Typhoon K and for other purposes.
Chairman Figueroa.
I move the Congress passes on second and final reading the said bill.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CP number 21-399. Discussion.
Speaker,
Vice Chairman Christian.
Mr. Speaker, on page 1, line 7, I move that we delete the figure 100 and insert the figure 200. So move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the short recess up to the call of the chair. Congress is back in session. Vice Chairman Christian, restate your
Thank you very much, Mr.
oral
Speaker. I
amendment.
withdraw my previous motion and offer the following, that in the title of the bill, where it says the sum of 100,000 be deleted and insert 200,000 in lieu thereof. And on line 7, where it says $100,000, that $200,000 be inserted so that both the title and the body of the bill are changed to
Include on line 1. Line 1.
and on 9.1 and on 9.1 too. Change 100 to 200,000. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So moved.
Okay.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the offered oral amendments by Vice Chairman Christian to CP 21-399 be adopted. The relevant rules are still suspended up to this point. Discussion on the offered oral amendment. Question has been called for. If there is no objection, discussion is closed. So we will vote. Those in favor of the adoption of the oral amendments, say aye.
Aye.
Nay. Motion carried. The offered oral amendments by Vice Chairman Christian are adopted. We now have CD1. Any further discussion on CD1? Discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. We will now vote by roll call of delegations. Chief Clerk?
For the state of Chuk, Chairman Aritas.
Yes.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Perman. State of Kashai, Chairman Wali. State of Yap, Chairman Urusamal.
I yield.
Chairman Urusamal.
I yield the floor to Chairman of Money.
Chairman Figure.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, all 4 states voted for the said bill.
CP number 21-399 CD1 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
Point of privilege.
State your point, Floor Leader.
Thank you, Speaker. May I just ask Honorable Urusuma, why is it that when it comes to less important matter for he refers it to Figure to cast a vote, but the most important one, then he would cast a vote.
Well, if he cares to answer it, any other point of privilege? If none, next bill, Chief Clerk.
The next bill under the bill calendar now is CB number 21-400 for second and final reading. CB number 21-400 is a bill for NAC to further amend Public Law number 20-125 as amended by Public Laws numbers 20-135, 20-146, 20-157, 20-179, 20-189, 21-06, 21-40, 21-59, 21-89, 21-96, 21-141, 21-155, 21-217, 21-230, and 21-239 by amending Section 4 thereof to change the use of certain funds previously appropriated therein to fund public projects and social programs for the people of the state of Pohnpei and for other purposes.
Chairman Figure.
Move for the passage of the bill on second and final reading.
Again.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CP number 21-400. Discussion. Any discussion? Vice Chairman
Speaker.
Christian.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to propose floor amendment to the bill on page 1, beginning on line 9 to 10, delete all of those in its 9 to 11, delete all those in entirety and replace with the following. Beginning on line 9, Enpain Pa, existing road repair, 25,000 for coral equipment culvert labor. Enpain Poet, next line, Enpain Poet, road repair, 25,000 coral culverts equipment labor. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the offered oral amendments to CP 21-400 offered by Vice Chairman Christian be adopted. The relevant rules are still suspended at this point. So, discussion on the offered oral amendments. Any discussion?
Mr.
None?
Speaker,
Yes, Vice Chairman Christian.
again, the action taken here for the amendment is to help respond to the torrential rains that have deteriorated the roads in the villages in Pohnpei. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, thank you very much, Vice Chairman Christian. That's really a good use of your project funds. Any further discussion? If
Question.
not, there's no objection.
Mr. Speaker,
Closed.
short recess, please.
Short recess. Subject to call of the chair. Second session. Vice Chairman Christian, just explain
Mr.
your.
Speaker, thank you very much. Would the chief clerk note that it's not 25-25, but 20-20 for each road?
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. So, Chief Clerk, take note of the correction. So, if there's no further discussion, let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of the offered oral amendments to CP 21-400 offered by Vice Chairman Christian, say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. The offered oral amendments are adopted. We now have CD1. Any further discussion on CD1? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. We will vote by roll call of delegations. Chief Clerk.
For the state of Truk, Chairman Aritos.
Yes.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Perman. State of Koshai, Chairman Wali.
Yes.
State of Yap, Chairman Urusamal. Chairman Urusamal.
I yield to Senator Fakir.
Chairman Fakir, can you please cast your delegation vote? Your colleague seems to be absenting himself.
Oh,
Chairman Figure.
yes, yes.
Mr. Speaker, all 4 states voted for the said bill.
CP number 21-400 CD1 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
The next bill under the bill calendar now is CB number 21-401 for second and final reading. CB number 21-401 is a bill for an act to amend section 301 of Title III of the Code of the Federated States of Micronesia, annotated to increase the salaries of the Speaker and members of Congress of the Federated States of Micronesia and for other purposes.
Okay, Chairman Ronald.
So move.
Chairman Ronald.
That's right.
Motion for adoption on the second and final reading.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CP number 21-401. Discussion.
Mr. Speaker, short recess.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. back in session. We're now discussing CP 21-401. Any discussion? If not,
Question.
there's no objection. Discussion is closed. We will vote by roll call of delegations. Chief Clerk, call the roll.
For the state of Chuk, Chairman Aritas,
I yield to Chairman Romulo.
Chairman Romulo,
Chuk vote is yes, with the understanding that Chairman Urzumal and Chairman Welly will vote yes.
state of Pohnpei, Chairman Berman,
I yield floor to Senator Christian.
Yes.
Senator Christian.
Yes.
Thank you. State of Koshai, Chairman Wali.
Yes.
State of Yap, Chairman Rusamal.
With all due respect, I yield the floor to Chairman of Mani.
For the state of Yap, Chairman Figure.
Painfully no.
No, it should be painfully yes. That's just the opposite. It should be painfully yes. Okay, Chief Clerk?
Mr. Speaker, 3 states voted for and 1 against the said bill.
CP number 21-41 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
The next bill under the bill calendar now is CB number 11-402 for second and final reading. CB number 11-402 is a bill for an act to further amend public law number 21-228 as amended by public law number 21-248 by amending section 5 thereof to change the use of funds appropriated therein to fund public projects and social programs for the people of Chuk State and for other purposes.
Chairman Figure.
Move for the passage of the bill on second and final reading.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CP number 21-402. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. Let's vote by roll call of delegations. Chief Clerk.
For the state of Chuk, Chairman Aritas.
Yes.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Perman. State of Koshai, Chairman Wali.
Yes.
State of Yap, Chairman Rusamal.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, all 4 states voted for the said bill.
CP number 21-402 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
The next bill under the bill calendar now is CB number 21-404 for second and final reading. CB number 21-404 is a bill for an act to further amend public law number 20-178 as amended by public laws numbers 21-01, 21-07, 21-36, 21-53, 21-56, 21-102, 21-115, 21-137, and 21-165 by amending section 5 thereof to change the use of funds previously appropriated therein to fund public projects and social programs for the people of Chuk State and for other purposes.
Chairman Figure.
Move for the passage of the bill on second and final reading.
Again.
It has been moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CP number 21-404. Discussion. Any discussion?
Speaker,
Vice Chairman Christian.
short recess, please.
Short recess. We call the chair.
increase the land transportation from 45 to 73,300. So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the offered oral amendment to CP 21-404 be adopted. The relevant rules are still suspended. Yeah, the idea is just to move around some money for certain needs of constituents. Okay. Any discussion on the offered oral amendments? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of the offered oral amendments to CP 21-404, say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. The offered oral amendments are adopted. We now have CD1. Any further discussion on CD1? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. We will vote by roll call of delegations. Chief Clerk.
For the state of Chuk, Chairman Aritos.
Yes.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Perman. State of Koshai, Chairman Wali.
Yes.
State of Yap, Chairman Urusamal.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, all 4 states voted for the said bill.
For that reason, CP number 21-404 CD1 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
The next bill under the bill calendar now is CP number 211-405 for second and final reading. CP number 211-405 is a bill for an act to further amend public law number 211-201 as amended by public laws numbers 211-219, 211-223, 211-229, and 211-241 by amending section 5 thereof for the purpose of changing the use of funds previously appropriated therein to fund priority infrastructure projects and other public projects and social programs for the people of Chuk State and for other purposes.
Chairman Figueroa.
Move for the passage of the bill on second and final reading.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CP number 21-405. Discussion, short recess, subject to call of the chair. That the offer for amendment to CP 21-405 by Speaker be adopted. The relevant rules are still suspended. And it's short, so Chief Clerk, just read it into the record.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We now have a floor amendment to CP number 21-405 offered by Speaker Wesley Simena. Item 1, page 2, line 8, after the word programs, insert the following. Open parentheses, including prior obligations, close parentheses, and delete the figure 100,000 and insert the figure 125,000. Item 2, page 2, line 15, delete the figure 25,000 and insert the figure 0 in lieu thereof.
Okay, there you have it. Discussion on the offered for amendment. If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. Those in favor of adoption of the offer for amendment to CP 21-405 say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. The offered for amendment is adopted. We now have CD1. Any further discussion on CD1? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. Let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of CP number, oh, I'm sorry. We will vote by roll call of delegations. Chief Clerk.
For the state of Chub, Chairman Aridos.
Yep.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Perman. State of Koshai, Chairman Wali. Chairman Wali.
Yes.
Thank you. State of Yap, Chairman Urusamal.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, all 4 states voted for the said bill.
CB number 21-405 CD1 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
There are no more bills under the bill calendar, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, short recess subject to call of the chair. Okay, if there's no objection, we will now go down to the resolution calendar.
Speaker,
Any resolution, Chief Clerk?
There are no resolutions at the moment, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, Chairman Furman, you're recognized.
thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I would like to withdraw and place the following resolutions into our resolution calendar for today. Um, Congressional Resolution 21-271, 272, 273, 274, 275, and 278. I so move.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the following resolutions, 271, 272, 273, 274, 275, and 278 be withdrawn from committees and placed on the resolution calendar for action. Those in favor of that motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Those resolutions are now withdrawn from committees and placed on the resolution calendar for action. Short recess subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. All those resolutions are now linked and they've been placed on the resolution calendar. So Chief Clerk, first resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The first resolution under the resolution calendar now is CR number 21-271 for adoption. CR number 21-271 is a resolution approving and accepting a grant from the United States Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Services Administration in the amount of $157,551 to fund and support the maternal and child health services, or MCHS, of the FSM Department of Health and Social Affairs Family Planning Program, including all the terms and conditions of the assistance.
Chairman Burnett,
Thank you again. I so move for its adoption.
Second.
it has been moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 21-271. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. Let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of resolution number 21-271, say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Resolution number 21-271 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution.
The next resolution under the resolution calendar now is CR number 21-272 for adoption. CR number 21-272 is a resolution approving and accepting a grant from the United States Department of Health and Human Services, Public Health Services Administration in the amount of $368,300 to fund and support the FSM Department of Health and Social Affairs' Family Planning Program, including all the terms and conditions of the assistance.
Chairman Permit.
Move to adopt 21-272.
Any second? It has been moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 21-272. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. We will vote. Those in favor of the adoption of resolution number 21-272, say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Resolution 21-272 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution, Chief.
The next resolution under the resolution calendar now is CR number 21-273 for adoption. CR number 21-273 is a resolution approving and accepting a grant from the United States Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Services Administration in the amount of $130,368 to fund and support the maternal and child health services, or MCHS, of the FSM Department of Health and Social Affairs Family Planning Program, including all the terms and conditions of the assistance.
I so move for its adoption.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 21-273. Discussion? Any discussion?
Here,
Yes, Florida Harbor.
just out of curiosity, are those two grants related since they're dealing with family planning?
271 and 273, yes. They're both for MCHS. Chairman Perman.
You're correct.
Okay, so they're related.
All right.
Speaker.
Yes, Chairman Roosevelt.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Can we amend it? One for maternal and one for paternal?
That's not part of the conditions.
Okay.
Conditions. Okay. So any further discussion?
Question.
If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. We will vote. Those in favor of the adoption of resolution number 21-273, say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Resolution number 21-273 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution.
The next resolution under the resolution calendar now is Congressional Resolution number 21-274 for adoption. CR number 21-274 is a resolution to amend Section 5 of Rule 1 of the Official Rules of Procedure of the 21st Congress of the Federated States of Micronesia to clarify the call to order procedure at the first session of each new Congress.
Okay, Chairman Figueroa,
Move for the adoption of the resolution.
Second.
it's been moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 21-274. Discussion. Discussion, short recess, subject to call of the chair.
Yes.
Congress is back in session. We're discussing resolution number 21-274. Any discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of resolution number 21-274, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Resolution 21-274 is adopted by Congress.
Short
Next,
recess.
a short recess, subject to call of the chair. Session, Chief Clerk, next resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The next resolution under the resolution calendar now is Congressional Resolution number 21-275 for adoption. CR number 21-275 is a resolution to amend Section 8 of Rule 6 of the Official Rules of Procedure of the 21st Congress of the Federated States of Micronesia to provide that if the chairman of the Committee on Ways and Means is unavailable to preside at a committee hearing, the vice speaker shall perform the duties of the chairman in his absence.
Okay, Chairman Figueroa.
Move for the adoption of the resolution.
Second.
Second.
Moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 21-275. Okay, discussion.
Short recess.
Short recess, subject to call the chair. Just back in session. We're now discussing CR number 21-275. Any further discussion on that? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. We will vote. Those in favor of the adoption of resolution number 21-275, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Resolution number 21-275 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution. Clerk.
The next resolution under the resolution calendar now is Congressional Resolution number 21-278 for adoption. CR number 21-278 is a resolution approving and accepting a grant in the amount of $200,000 from the government of the Republic of Korea, earmarked to fund the upgrade of the office of the FSM Department of Foreign Affairs, including all the terms and conditions of the assistance.
Okay, Chairman Wale.
Thank you. So moved. Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 21-278. Discussion. Any discussion? If
Question.
not, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of resolution number 21-278, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Aye.
Motion carried. Resolution number 21-278 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution, Chief Clerk.
There are no more resolutions, Mr. Speaker.
Speaker.
Okay.
Speaker.
Yes, Chairman Figure, you have the floor.
I have a resolution that I want to withdraw and place.
What's the resolution? Short recess to call the chair. Congress is back in session. We're still on the resolution calendar. Chairman Figueroa.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I move to withdraw and place Congress Resolution number 256 on the resolution calendar for action.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that resolution number 21-256 be withdrawn from committee and placed on the resolution calendar for action. Those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Resolution number 21-256 is withdrawn from committee and placed on the resolution calendar for action. Short recess. Back in session. Chief Clerk, next resolution.
The next resolution under the resolution calendar now is Congressional Resolution number 21-256 for adoption. CR number 21-256 is a resolution to confirm the nomination of Mr. Emmanuel Manny Mori to serve as a member of the Joint Trust Fund Committee representing the Federated States of Micronesia pursuant to sections 215 and 216 of the Compact of the Free Association as amended between the government of the Federated States of Micronesia and the government of the United States of America.
Okay, Chairman Figueroa.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I move that Congress adopt Congress Resolution number 21-256.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 21-256. Discussion. Chairman Figueroa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On page 2, line 13, after the word Micronesia, comma, delete the word 10th and insert 11th in lieu thereof.
Again.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded that the offered oral amendment by Chairman Figueroa to the resolution be adopted. Discussion on the offered oral amendment. Any discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. Let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of the offered amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Nay. Motion carried. The offered oral amendment to resolution 21-256 is adopted. We have CD1. Okay, any further discussion on CD1? Discussion. Yes, Florida Harbor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I simply want to take this opportunity to reiterate what I said about the quotation of Pope Francis, in which he said, in life, it is good that we are happy. And it is even more better if we make other people happy. So I think yesterday or today, we already fulfilled the making of ourselves happy because of the passage of the the salary increase. And now let's do the other part of what he said. Let's make other people happy. So let's make former President Manny Mori to be happy by passing the resolution for him. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Florida Harbor. Any other discussion? If none.
Speaker.
Yes, Vice Chairman Palik.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I also rise in support of this nomination. I know this individual well, and having served on this committee, uh, it's a very difficult assignment, yet a very important one for our nation. And this position is critical, need to be filled up as quickly as possible. And understanding and knowing the experiences and background of the nominee, Mr. Mori, I urge members to support. Let's confirm this nomination. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Vice Chairman Palit, for the words of support. Any other discussion? If none,
Question.
there's no objection. Discussion is closed. This is a nomination. It requires at least 10 affirmative votes for adoption. So we will vote by secret ballot. Short recess. Chief Clerk. Congress is back in session. Chief Clerk, announce the result.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. All the 11 members that are present voted affirmatively on the said resolution.
All right.
Okay, for that reason, resolution number 21-256 CD1 has been adopted by Congress. Mr. Mori is confirmed as a member of our Compact Trust Fund Committee. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you for that. Next resolution. Clerk.
There are no more resolutions, Mr. Speaker.
Sana tayo.
Okay. Let's take a short break, short recess. Conference is back in session. Next item, Chief Clerk.
The next item is introduction of bills and resolutions, item 21.
Okay, if you have any measure to introduce, pass them on to Chief Clerk. Next item is miscellaneous business. Do you have any miscellaneous business?
Speaker.
Or Leader Arbor, you have your in-house motion?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that all the journal from day 1 to the last day would be reviewed by the presiders and be approved also with the assistance of the appropriate staff to make sure that everything is in there and they're all well written and all that. So I so move, Mr. Speaker.
It has been moved and seconded that the presiding officers are authorized to review and approve all the journals from day 1 to the last day and other related matters. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nay. Motion carried. So be it. Okay. Any other miscellaneous business? Yes, Florida Harbor, your appreciation to everybody.
Yeah, I know we're all anxious to adjourn silent time, but I would also like this take this opportunity to express on behalf of the presiders and the leadership of Congress our sincere appreciation and gratitude to our staff for all the diligent and hard work that they have put in our special session. And we continue to ask that they keep doing this during our future session. And I so would like to thank Jessica, Chief Clerk Lam, and all those who are really working on our bills and resolutions, which are able to be passed during this special session. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Professor Harbor, for that. Yes, Chairman Figueroa.
Yeah, thank you, Speaker. I like to express and convey my gratitude to the members of Congress and staff for putting up with me for the last 2 years. Now we're coming to the conclusion of this Congress. I just, if anything that I did that I offended anyone, it was not meant to. I always try to work with members and do the best. Because when it comes to dealing with public funds, we have to be very careful. So I just want to say that and hope that the next Congress is a successful one. So thank you very much, gentlemen and staff. Hope to see you in the next Congress, 22nd Congress.
Okay.
Wish you all success.
Speaker,
Okay. Thank you very much, Chairman Figueroa. Don't worry. As was stated by Vice Chairman Christian, the status quo. So we will continue to get tired of you for the next 2 years if that's the case. But thank you, Chairman Figueroa, for all the artworks. I know some of your decisions are not quite popular with members because who doesn't want money? I mean, everybody wants money, but you've been able to control our, things, and we appreciate your leadership role in the as chairman of Ways and Means. We thank you for that. Seriously, we do.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Speaker.
Yes. Any other miscellaneous? Chairman Perman first.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Speaker. No, Speaker. I know the 21st Congress passed some bills regarding purchasing of lots of things, and I'm referring to ships. And this 21st Congress is coming to an end, and I know Pompey bought their ship, and I think Chuk is still working on that. I was hoping that the ships for Chuk is already purchased and in service already. So what delays? I hope the 22nd Congress, when we look into that, to make sure that those ships are purchased and ready to service our citizens, the people of the various states of Micronesia. And that's the only. Pompey bought. Thanks Congress that we bought one for FSM that servicing Pompey, and I'm hoping that the one that Congress we have appropriated funding for Chuk and hopefully Yap and Kusai later on, so these ships can service our people. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Chairman Perman. Yes, ships are just that. They're the lifeline of our islands. They serve our islands very well. So yes, we need all the ships we can get, and the more the better. And that's we just need to be able to manage them well, properly. Thank you for your support, Chairman Berman, on that. Any other miscellaneous business?
Speaker.
Floor Leader Harper, then Chairman Ursumo.
No, I direct to Usman first before I make my motion.
The floor has been yielded to you, Chairman Ursumo.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Thank you, Floor Leader. I also have a small business I wish to convey for our last day, I think, of this 21st Congress, and to lend my support to all of those that have expressed our appreciation and gratitude to our staff and to each other for the works that we have done since the beginning of this Congress, the 21st Congress. I also wish to indicate my wish, my hope and wish that for the 22nd Congress, that we will do some things that can improve our work. Mainly when we do bills, we do public hearings as much as we can, but also must have committee reports attached to them as required by our rules to explain to the general public the intent of our appropriations. We need to do as much as we can in the works of Congress than others. When we come to session, we don't spend time amending as we see many of our public projects appropriations, including those that were done this Congress, have been like the unfortunate thing on TV, someone putting a foot on somebody's neck and choking it with so many amendments to changing use and analysis of public project appropriations. I know our lawyer, Alec Jackson, has been very good in making sure that we do that our wishes are conveyed in the bills that he's been drafting. I hope he stays, but also wish him luck on the effort to move elsewhere if Congress can approve this. So I hope that during the 22nd Congress, we also try as much as we can, not only through the FSM Trust Fund, sharing and helping our states, but also in programs that we know they have problem funding. I know YAP used to really have a lot of money to do for their own residents here, but unfortunately for some reasons that are beyond me, I don't know what happened. And now the state is struggling, trying to find enough revenue to provide services to our citizens, including the consuls, which are by constitution, YAP state, are part of the state operation. And yet, most of what they are needing are coming out of public projects appropriation by Congress. So I hope next Congress, with your leadership, Mr. Speaker, and the other presiding officers, we can show some improvement and show our people that we are serious in trying to help all of them and not just some of them. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman Ursumal, for your statement. Well noted. I think it would be presumptuous of us to say that we will decide for the 22nd Congress what it plans to do, but yes, the same individuals, same members. So let's hope that things would change for the better. Okay, Florida Harbor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that our 11th special session to our 21st Congress is now adjourned silently.
Okay, thank you. The motion has been seconded, but before we do that, I would like to allow our other members, if they have anything else to add. Anything from Panpay delegation? Troop delegation? Koshai? Okay, yep, you're both done. Okay, thank you. Okay, there is a motion that Congress adjourn sine die, that the 11th special session of the 21st Congress adjourn sine die. Those in favor of that motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is adopted. So the 11th special session of the 21st Congress is now adjourned sine die. Thank you, gentlemen.